Okay, now that we saved out our header PHP after we added some HTML, it looks like this. And it doesn't look like this because we didn't unqueue the scripts that we need. So basically, we need our CSS to tell these pieces where to go and what to do. All right, so girl of all trades. So unqueuing. Unqueuing is, so if we go over here to our index HTML, if you see this right here, unqueuing is attaching our documents together so they can talk to each other in WordPress language. So these are the styles that we need right here, these CSS styles. So what we need to do is all unqueuing goes through is functions PHP. And your functions PHP file is, so if we're in our theme folder that we made, it's just in the root of it. So if you look right here, functions.php file. Let's edit that. Should take a second. Here we go. Okay, so this is basically what gets WordPress like all its functionality. So it within our underscores base theme, we already have an onqueuing scripts going on here. So if you could see around here, just look into your files and you could just find WP onqueue style and it will be in here. So what this is doing right here, this is getting the style sheet from the theme itself. So this is calling on the base of the theme and then grabbing that CSS style sheet. That CSS style sheet is what we have here. But since we don't really want, like it's already being unqueued, so let's go back over to functions PHP file. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So there's a difference between WP onqueue style and WP onqueue script. A script is a JavaScript file. As you can see right here, navigation.js. File path is super important, and we absolutely need to have the correct file path. If you don't know how to unqueue anything, it's okay. Just go over to WordPress.org, and there is a huge database of functions and things to help us out. All right, to unqueue our style. So I looked it up. What we need to do, so I went ahead and got this from developerwordpress.org, and it tells us what we need to unqueue our style with. Okay, so I have it right here and here. So we've got WP enqueue style. This should be below this because this should be number one priority. That is our style sheet in our theme. Okay, this example, this name has to be unique to the style sheet. Every style sheet that you are unqueuing has to have a new unique name right here, or it will error out and it won't work. Get template directory. So this is basically going to the base of your template file and asking for your file. So if it's within a CSS folder, it will be right here. If this file path is broken, it will let you know, and your console will show it in red that it will be missing. So make sure that your file paths are correct. This false right here is asking if it is dependent on other CSS files or not. I'm going to go ahead and put false on that. It's not really dependent on anything else. And this is my version. So 1.1 is my version of the style sheet. And this last parameter is asking where this is going to be used. And this is going to be used on all devices. So we can go ahead and put all right there. Okay, so what I need is my index HTML. As we can see right here, we have about 6 of them that we need to do. So I'm again going to use my little cheating tactics. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to go over to functions PHP, and this is where you have to be very careful because you're going to have to rip these out in the end, and if you don't, they will break. I just want to make sure that my file path is here and ready to go. So here's our grid CSS. First off, we need that. So I usually name this the same name as my style sheet, and then I'm going to come in here and do that as well. So this right here should take care of that guy, so let's erase him. Now I'm going to be fast about this. I'm going to copy this one over so I can just replace with all the rest. So here's the original style CSS, and we could just put style right here and style right here, and then that should be good to go. Let's take out him. Let's copy this one and put that one right there, and camera CSS. Let's grab that and put that right there. Oh, I don't want to erase that, and we do want to put that right there. Okay, no, it's kind of monotonous, but trust me, you do want to have your styles shown through on your web page. Okay, take him out. Mail form. I probably won't use this, but I'm going to put it in anyway. Just for fun. Just for fun. Now, how do we know that these files are in this location? I will show you. And how do we know if there's going to be an error or not? I will show you how to track that down as well. Okay, now let's take out this last guy. We got all of our CSS on queued, and it's okay to have these parameters all the same. That's fine with me, just as long as these are different and the file path is correct. So let's save that out, and let's go to our FileZilla. Say, yep, we do want to change that. Now let's go to Girl of All Trades and refresh that guy. All right, let's see what is breaking and what's not breaking. So I'm in the browser Chrome, and I'm going to inspect it. So if we do have files missing that we unqueued here that will not show up here, if we go over and push on console, it will give us a whole bunch of 404 errors. But good news is we don't have any 404 errors. Okay, and that's great. But unfortunately, it looks like my header doesn't look like this. So there's something wrong. So it's seeing these styles come through right here, but it's not showing up. And this is a common problem when it comes to troubleshooting unqueuing styles. So let's see here. Why don't we take a look? Do we have our CSS folder? Is it named that? Are we... Well, look at that. It's not even there. So here's our CSS file in our computer. And then if you look over here, I don't even have my CSS. And that's how we live and learn, right? So we're just going to drag and drop this guy over here. There's not another CSS folder. And so this should be putting all of those files that it was calling in our functions PHP into our WordPress. So just wait for a second. Let's let that go through, and it's uploading. But usually if your onqueue doesn't work, 99% of the time your file path was named wrong, or it's just not there. In our case, I thought I uploaded all the folders, but I didn't. And that's how we live and learn, right? Okay. Looks like most of these went through. Let's go ahead and reload the page to see if we're missing any styles or if the file path is named incorrectly. Oh, look at that. We have something going on here. It is starting to look like that. Okay, but it looks like I do have a couple of errors. As for different things, that doesn't apply to what I'm doing, and that's okay. So if you look to our original, it does look a little different. So we do have that. And remember, I did have, where's my girl of all trades? I did leave our navigation in WordPress in the header, and that's right here. This is that navigation. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that for now, but you can see our links and they're working great. They even have a hover. I'm pretty dang excited. Okay, now that our CSS have been on-queued, if you look on our HTML template, you can see that I have some JavaScript that's not being included. So it looks like we are missing a link to Google Fonts, which we can do. And it looks like I'm missing a JS and a couple of jQuery. So WordPress by default already has jQuery on queued within it. So really what I'm concerned about is this right here and this right here. And that's only two. We can do that, right? Okay, so we go back over to our functions.php file. And if you look around, you can see sometimes I use the code that's already there. And I'm like, okay, I can manipulate that to unqueue my other JavaScript file. I know it's not exactly the best, but so here's our CSS that we just unqueued, and here's our script. Now, remember that there's a big difference between style and script. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy that's already been there, and I'm going to copy him. And then let's see here. We can't have this name the same just like the other ones, and it's going the directory, and it's in the JS folder. So what this is doing right here is this is the date that this was made, but it's not 2015, it's 2016, and it's 12, what's the date today? The 4th? And true or false, so true means in the footer, and false means in the header. So keep that in mind, because sometimes when your JS fires off in WordPress, it fires off too soon. So that may be because it's being queued before the elements are even discovered. So if your JS is breaking and it's not getting on queuing, just have that in mind that it could be this guy right here causing your problems. Okay, so we copied that and we can't leave it its same name. So let's go back to our index.html, and looks like we need this guy. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to steal this file path, because remember we already dragged and dropped it within our JS folder. So let's rename this guy to that, and I don't want it to be .js. So let's just call it jQuery migrate. Really, you can name this whatever you want. This doesn't have to be anything particular. It just can't be the same as everything else. So let's change this file path to jQuery migrate. Okay, that looks good. I like that. So let's copy this out. We have one more to put in. And let's fix the formatting a little bit. Okay, now let's go back to our index.html, and it looks like we need device min.js. Let's go back to our functions.php, change this. Let's just call that device, and go over here, change the file path. All looks good. Let's see here. All right, so I'm going to save that out and make sure that it's doing okay. Let's go back to FileZilla and say, yep, changes. I hate how I have to accept changes on that, but whatever. So now let's see if it's going to be broken, our JS, or not. Okay, everything looks the same, but JS, you know, it usually won't be broken until something doesn't work. So if we go to our console, it looks like other stuff is broken, but not the stuff we care about. All right, it looks like the JS went through, so I'm not too worried about anything else, and that looks like it's all for unqueuing our scripts. Now we just need to put in so let's go back to our index HTML. We need to put in our fonts. And so you could take this and put it just in the header of your WordPress site with, let's copy that out. And you could go and see how we have links over here and stuff within our header. So that's just like a normal HTML template within WordPress in your header.php file. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this right here. Let me go copy that again. Looks like it didn't like that. So let's go back over, paste that out, and so this is making a call to a CDN Google Fonts, and it's grabbing the font family that we want. Let's make sure this is formatted okay. All right, so I'm going to save that guy out as well. And in FileZilla, I'm curious to see if our file sets change right away. Okay, it looks like that did work. See, our fonts are different and they're looking great. I'm pretty excited about that. If you look over here, they are quite different. So I'm excited. Let's see how this thing will turn out.